Hello, today I'm going to be talking to you about the IEP process and everything that it entails. This goes along with my little infographic that I have made for you, so I just want to describe a few of the things that I feel are the most important. First and foremost, as the parent, you have the right to be involved in every step of the IEP, from drafting it to accepting its completion. If you are not happy with the IEP, you have the ability and the right to change that. In some instances, students are also allowed to be involved in the IEP writing process, for example, drafting some of their goals and coming up with some accommodations that they feel are going to be beneficial and helpful for them. As far as referral goes, you have the right to refer your student to special education and to request an evaluation to be conducted. Those evaluations are good for 1 year, so once an evaluation is completed, that evaluation stands for 1 year, and if you are not happy with those results, you may request another one. Once you have referred your student for an IEP, the team will start the process of evaluating your student. Evaluations is just a set of tests and assessments that they complete to determine if your student is indeed struggling academically and in what areas and how they are struggling. This will help determine a disability category for them. As far as eligibility goes, there's no set in stone rules to determine if a student is eligible for an IEP. The team has flexibility to be able to determine if the student should receive services. The only criteria is that they fit one of 13 disabilities that are outlined by the IDEA, and that this disability impacts their learning. So that determines their special education eligibility. So they have to determine that the deficits in learning are due to one of the 13 disability categories that are outlined. Some components of the IEP include the present level of performance, so where your student is currently performing at, individualized instruction and related services, so this is the services that are going to be provided to your student and how the curriculum is going to be modified to tailor your student and what accommodations and modifications are going to be in support of your student. So what goals are they supposed to be attaining and what things are going to be put in place for them to be able to attain those goals. Some expectations for the communication between everybody on the IEP team. It is very important that everyone stays in constant communication with each other so that the student gets what they need. If one person of the team sees that something is not working, then it's their responsibility to reach out to everyone and say, hey, this is not working, we need to come back together and discuss what more we can do. On the other hand, if something really is working, it's important to share that information as well so everyone knows that the strategy that's been implemented has been effective and that everyone on the team can apply it and use it with the student. With that being said, every year there is going to be an annual review of the IEP where the whole team comes together, they discuss the vision for the student, the goals, progress that's been made, what kinds of concerns are popping up, and they go over service delivery and they alter or change anything that needs to be changed. So maybe the student doesn't need so many speech minutes. Maybe they need more pull-out time or less pull-out time and more inclusion time. That is the kind of thing that's going to be discussed at an annual review, and it's going to be a draft of a whole new IEP. Some ethical responsibilities that the teacher has to uphold are just being honest, being open, communicating, and maintaining confidentiality and respect for the student. The information about students' disabilities and where they're at academically does not need to be shared with everyone. It is only shared on a need-to-know basis. So only the people who are working directly with this student need to know this information. Anything that comes from the pediatrician, any documents like that need to be kept in a safe space that is not accessible to anybody else because that information is protected information, is private information. Communication has to be very careful through the phone or through email because it needs to be in a space that's not going to be sent accidentally to everybody else or posted for everybody else to view. Um, and also just, maintaining high expectations for students. Just because a student has a disability does not mean that they need to be held to lower expectations. So I think it's the teacher's responsibility to really maintain that and withhold that so that the parents and the students feel respected and accepted and that the school is really there to help them. So I hope you have learned something about the IEP process and what the IEP includes. There's a little infographic that goes along with it, and I hope that you can find it beneficial. Thank you.